Hello everybody, Dan Babis here. Welcome back to Daily Soap Dish. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below because we cover a ton of 90 Day Fiancé right here on the channel. Alright guys, so let's get into it. Today we have some big news about Mike Berk and Ximena Morales to report to you guys. We have some big exclusive news, and the reason for that is because over the past days and perhaps even weeks, we have been compiling some receipts. We have been putting together some information that is going to reveal quite a lot about this couple. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Number one, we're going to be talking about financials. What did Mike pay for? How much did he send Ximena? Did he pay for her boobs? A lot of people have been asking that questions for weeks now. We never really got a straight answer. We'll be able to answer that today. Also, did Mike send money to Ximena's family? Did Mike send money to Ximena's parents and her sister? We have some information about that. Also, Ximena does say that she never asked Mike to send her any money, but we have information clearly proving the contrary. So, some interesting information about financials. Number two, we're going to be talking about relationships. Are Mike and Ximena truly broken up? Like on the season of 90 Day Fiancé, the producers want you to believe that they are broken up and they're done. But is that the case? Or do they get back? And does Mike and Ximena actually come back on a future season of 90 Day Fiancé? So we have some interesting news on that front. We're also going to be talking about Ximena and her other boyfriends, Josh Dugas. Is Ximena and Josh, are they going to be coming on 90 Day Fiancé? We have some news that we can confirm on that front. And we also have some interesting news about Ximena and her other boyfriend, because Ximena moves fast and, Josh Dugas wasn't enough. She has another man, Brian. We also know him by Benjamin as of right now, and that's the guy from Cali in Colombia that she's been seeing. So let's get to it, guys. A lot of news to unpack. I hope we can get to all of it today. Lots of news to unpack right here. Let's start. So like I said, this is an exclusive piece. You can go check it out at dailysoapdish.com. The Mike Berk and Ximena Morales situation exposed in detail by insiders, and that's because we have spoken to multiple people to compile this over the course of days and weeks. So here we go. The 90 Day Fiancé journey of Mike Berk, Berkowitz is his real name, and Ximena Morales has undoubtedly been one of the most gripping love stories on Season 5 of TLC's spinoff Before the 90 Days. And while the story of the nerdy good guy finally risking it all for a true chance at happiness endeared fans at first with its underdog appeal, which I think it did, the love story has taken on a less idealistic turn in recent weeks and became a little more realistic. And that's because, we kind of, at first we kind of thought that Mike was this nerdy guy and he had no flaws. He was a good guy, just unlucky, in life. I think that was kind of the feeling that a lot of people had. But as it turns out, he is a flawed individual, and his flaws have kind of been exposed in recent days and weeks. He's gotten angry, and he also we've learned that he met Ximena on a webcam site, so things became more real with these two. Now, in recent weeks, there have been many drops by people close to Ximena about updates in her love life. Enter Canadian Josh Dugas, who also goes by Romeo. So we've done a video about that. His name is Josh. According to multiple sources and DSD insiders, Ximena met Josh and hooked up with him while she was still technically in a relationship with Mike. So there you have it, guys. Ximena did cheat on Mike. Now, the thing is, when we first dropped that bit of news about, a month ago or so, I forget exactly when, we weren't sure if Ximena had cheated on Mike with Josh in the hotel room next door, because that was what a source that I believe was close to Mike dropped at the time. However, what I've learned is that Ximena did indeed cheat with Josh on Mike, but she just didn't do it in the hotel room next door. They were Mike and Ximena supposedly went on some kind of trip to somewhere, I forget exactly where, and they were staying at a hotel at a resort, and the allegation was that Ximena, while they were there, cheated on Mike with Josh next door. She cheated on Mike, but it didn't happen next door. At least that's my understanding. So I just wanted to clarify that right there. So let's take a look at the rest of the piece right here. Daily Soap Dish can confirm that the two of them have been filming together for a future season or spinoff of 90 Day Fiancé. So there's been lots of rumors about, Josh. We've dropped some videos about that. They were likely filming for a new season of 90 Day Fiancé together. And we can confirm that that is in fact true. They have been filming, and I think they might be filming even as we speak together in Colombia. And this is corroborated by Ximena herself, who has made a bunch of drops in recent days, hinting that something big is coming with Josh. And she can't talk about it. And so this is pretty much all but confirmed as of the present time. The only question is on which spinoff is it going to be? Our guess is that it's going to be on the Single Life, because it makes sense for it to be there since neither Ximena nor Josh are U.S. citizens. So I think it can happen on the Single Life. Perhaps there's another spinoff where it can happen. But our guess right now is it's going to happen on the Single Life. And we are almost guaranteed to get this, Ximena and Josh angle. However, that's not it, guys. There's also Benjamin Giraldo, who is also known as Brian. And that is other side piece. And here we go, guys. We have some pictures to confirm that the two of them were together and still are, according to rumors. More on that below, but let's take a look at Mike and Ximena's financial situation, since the Colombian girl made some claims in the last few weeks on the show. So, before we analyze that, this is a picture of Ximena and Brian kissing. So, last time we did a video about this, we just saw pictures of Brian. We didn't see Ximena and Brian kissing, but here we go. Here we have it. Ximena and Brian kissing. So this is not like a few weeks old. I think this is a little older than that, because Ximena recently colored her hair. However, based on her understanding, Ximena was seeing Brian and might have been living with him as of late last year, perhaps even still to this day. It's not very clear, but she was living with Brian as of late last year. And she was seeing Brian when she started seeing Josh after she broke up with Mike. So there's a lot of men that are in this equation here. It's all very confusing. But like I said previously, we just heard about Brian. We didn't know if Brian and Ximena hooked up. And here you have proof of their kissing. This is the first time that we're seeing this picture right here. All right. So the truth about Mike meeting Ximena on a webcam site. So the biggest twist of the season was when Mike dropped the bomb about Ximena's past webcam modeling work. He's the one that actually dropped it, even though he's so embarrassed by it. It was kind of weird, but I guess he just felt like he needed something at that moment in time to use against her, I guess, because she was breaking up with him. Ximena followed it up by revealing that it was there that Mike met her, and that she was so done with Mike that she didn't mind going back. However, this is the thing, guys. We have received information from insiders about Mike and Ximena that Ximena might have embellished or perhaps even lied on those matters. Or sources indicate that Ximena cried to Mike about how much she hated her webcam job on the platform and pleaded with Mike to help get her off the platform. On the show on social media, Ximena portrays herself as very proud of her past sex work and claims that she has no problems going back to it. But based on information that we got, that is not true. Now, if you guys remember on the March 6th episode, after Nelsie spoke to Ximena, she basically told Mike to dump her because Ximena basically didn't want to be in a relationship with Mike whatsoever. And Ximena got super pissed off at that moment in time because he was listening to his friend over her. And so it's very odd. If she was so put off by Mike, why would she even fight for him at that moment in time, right? It's very, very odd that she would, because that's what she is saying now on social media, and that's what she's been saying in the last few episodes on the show. So there is something that doesn't add up there. Now, could it be that she didn't want Mike to be influenced by an outside source? Maybe. We don't know. My opinion is probably because that's, around that point, she also, right after that happened, actually, she also decided to sleep with Mike, and she basically didn't want him to touch her at all before that moment when Mike was willing to break it up with her. That's when she decided to sleep with him. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of confusing that, everything she's saying now, because she was more than willing at that moment in time to sleep with him to make sure that he didn't break up with her. Now, speaking of finances, so this is what we're going to get into right now, guys. Mike was financing more than just a single mom with 2 kids. An insider told us that Mike was asked and sent money to the whole family, including the parents, as well as Ximena's sisters, Wendy. And it wasn't just small amounts. Although we don't know the exact amount, the exact sum is in the tens of thousands, according to what we know. Now, Mike did a previous interview with ET Online where he revealed that he sent Ximena $15,000, but based on what we know, the real amount is higher than that. So, I think Mike, I don't know if Mike was trying not to look as desperate, but Mike sent her a lot of money. Now, Ximena also previously said that she never asked Mike for money, but I have seen myself verifiable receipts that she was begging Mike for money to send to her and the family. I've seen those receipts. Ximena's own mother also said on the season finale that if it wasn't for Mike, they wouldn't have survived through the pandemic because he supported them all with his money during the pandemic. So this is information that is corroborated by our sources, guys. Now, we've known about this since before this episode aired. We've had this information for days and weeks. Now, in one instance, Ximena claims that she was evicted by her landlord and that her and her family have nowhere to go. And this is what she said in Spanish. Amor, we have to leave our house, or we had to leave our house, and I'm very worried as we have nowhere to go, and we don't have any money to pay for a new house, reads a translation of one of Ximena's messages, which she followed up by a crying person emoji. So that message clearly shows Ximena begging Mike for money, and what's worse, this allegedly happened after the March 27 episode where Ximena asked Mike to leave her house after breaking up with him. So, very bizarre, right? Very bizarre, in my opinion. So, March 27, that was last week's episode, where Ximena she's so scared by Mike, she wants him gone ASAP, but according to information that we have, Ximena went and asked Mike for money after that episode. So, make of that what you will. Maybe Ximena is playing 2 sides. She's playing one side for the camera, one with Mike, but I don't know. Make of that what you will. So let's go on with this article right here. Also, this is what I wanted to get to right here. So, Ximena sending money to her ex-boyfriend, criminal Victor, who is the father of her child. So let me just make sure that we could see this. Okay. Ximena's criminal ex Victor's appears to still be in her life as she was seeing him on the side. Now, when we say seeing here, she was going to visit him in prison is what we mean. And, by all accounts, by everything that we have heard from multiple sources, Ximena still very much has feelings for this guy. She was seeing him on the side during her relationship with Mike and appears to still be seeing him to this very day, according to our info. Ximena has been sending the money that Mike gave to her to Victor throughout the duration of their relationship. When she wasn't able to go and bring in herself, she used this intermediary guy who goes by the name of Papito. So basically what would happen is that Ximena would go to visit him and give him money herself, money that she got from Mike. The exact amounts of that, I don't know, but we know that she was giving Victor a lot of money. Now, when she wasn't able to give Victor money, she would use this guy called Papito, who she would see and give money to him to take to Victor in prison. So some pretty crazy stuff right there. Now, we all know that from her own admission that Ximena Morales was formerly involved with criminal types and that her ex and baby daddy was a guy who was in jail. Viewers will recall Ximena's shocking story of getting pregnant by lifting up her legs during a visitation session with Victor, all while knowing that this man would never be able to provide for her unborn son, but deciding to get pregnant anyways. And she still loves this guy to this day. It's crazy. Mike Berk even expressed worry that her ex might come after them, or even have him and the kids, or even him and the kids if given the chance. But of course, Ximena told him not to worry about that, and that she was no longer in contact with the dangerous hitman that she used to live with. So we know that's a lie. She's still very much in contact to this very day with Victor, and definitely was during her relationship with Mike. Now, a big question fans have had is whether Mike paid for Ximena's breast augmentation procedure. So we got some information for that right now, guys. So this has never been openly answered on the show, outside of a scene where Ximena threatened to get the money from a loan shark if Mike didn't provide it. Based on her info, Mike paid for the breast augmentation procedure, but only partially. You're going to want to hear this. This is hilarious. He paid for one boob, or half the boob job, and he also paid for her to have a liposuction. So those are the two things that we can confirm that Mike paid for. Only one boob, and he paid for her to have liposuction. Some other guy paid for the other boob. Whether that's a loan shark, Josh, or Brian, we're not exactly sure. We don't think it's Josh because their romance is more recent. She's been with this Benjamin or Brian guy for longer. Perhaps he could have played a part in this. We're not exactly sure. Now, I'm going to get to this in a second, but Mike and Ximena are going to get back together. So I saved that part for the end of the article. But Mike and Ximena are going to get back together after this season on 90 Day Fiancé. So if you guys are watching or you're reading all the comments, Ximena is crying abuse at Mike. Look, we don't know if that's true or not, right? But what I can tell you is that Mike and Ximena get back together after this season of 90 Day Fiancé. So I guess Mike's actions weren't all that bad. I don't know. But this, I can tell you, they are going to get back together and are going to come back on the show. They've already filmed a new season of 90 Day Fiancé. The only question is whether TLC is going to air it. We believe they are. But, you know, Mike has some controversy based on some of his past racial posts that he did. And so it's a tricky situation for TLC. We believe that they're going to show it. It's already been filmed. So Mike went to Colombia twice on the season of 90 Day Fiancé, but he actually went there 3 times. So he is, he was there not that long ago, actually. So we're going to return to that point in a few minutes. All right. So, the point that I wanted to make right here is that the payment for the procedure to have the breast augmentation is going to play a part the next time that Mike and Ximena come on the show. So my guess is, I don't have information to confirm this, but this is my guess, and I think it's a pretty good one based on what we've seen on the show. Ximena obviously wants money from Mike to get her procedures done. When Mike refused to pay her for the breast augmentation, Ximena basically closed up to him, didn't want to have sex with him, didn't want to see him at all. So my guess is that Mike will agree to pay partially for the breast augmentation, and they're going to get back together somehow on the next season of 90 Day Fiancé. But the drama surrounding the amount to pay for the breast augmentation is going to play out on the show. So Mike, Berk, and Ximena get back together and return to TLC. So I've already said this by now. They're going to get back together and return for another season of a 90 Day Fiancé or one of its many spinoffs. Many fans don't realize just how long ago the current season of Before the 90 Days was filmed, but most of the scenes that we see happening right now were shot over 1 year ago. Just to give you an example of that, I have seen, I have seen some receipts about, well, actually, I think Ximena herself posted this. She got her breast done in March or May of last year. It was one of those, I believe it was March, but it could have been May of 2021. And during this current season of the show that we're seeing right now, Ximena hasn't even had the procedure yet. So what we're seeing predates March of last year or May. Like I said, it's one of those months. I forget exactly right now, but I have seen the proof of that she got her breast done either March or May. So what we're seeing now predates that. So that tells you just how long ago this current season was filmed. All right, let's take a look at what else we have here. Like I said, guys, this is a long one. So Yeah, and since we know that Ximena was still sending Mike sweet messages in an attempt to get more money from him, she was obviously not as put off by Mike as she leads us to believe on camera. Now, according to rumors that have been verified by multiple sources, Mike was in Colombia as late as February of this year. TLC cameras were rolling according to info we've received, so we can expect him to return at some point in the future as their romance finally concludes. In total, Mike has gone to Colombia 3 times, 2 on this current season and 1 on a future season. So, like I said, guys, Mike was in Colombia as early as, or as late, I guess I should say, as February of this year, whereas most of what we're seeing on TV right now likely took place at some point before March of last year, so over 1 year ago. All right. Now, about Mike, about Ximena Morales and Josh Dugas. So, they are filming for TLC. There's been much speculation about Ximena filming with her Canadian beau, Josh, for a 90 Day Fiancé spinoff. According to her information, this is indeed true. Based on what we know, Ximena was filming with Josh as of very recently, and the duo might still be filming in Colombia as we speak. So expect this to play out on a future 90 Day Fiancé spinoff. Like I said, probably the single life, but I don't know for sure just yet, but it could be the single life. It could be something else. My guess is the single life. We have also obtained pictures that confirm Ximena and Benjamin or Brian Geraldo's hookup. Rumors are that Ximena and Benjamin were living together as of late 2021 and could still be together. It's also unclear if Josh himself knew about Benjamin and how the news of Ximena's latest romance affected their relationship, because this news, between of the romance between Ximena and Brian or Benjamin was broken about 3 weeks ago or so. And we're not sure if Josh knew. My guess is that he didn't, but we're not sure if he knew about Benjamin or not. Like I said, my guess is that he didn't. And so if he didn't, then I don't know how he took that news. Probably not very good, is my opinion. Maybe we'll see it play out on their season when they come on 90 Day Fiancé. All right, so based on all the information that's out there, we have to wonder if Ximena is playing one side to the cameras and another to Mike behind the scenes. So there we go, guys. Like I said, lots of information to unpack there. There might be some other things that I forgot to get to in here, but there's definitely a lot of information to unpack in there. Let me just take a look quickly here if there's anything that I didn't go through. Some other things based on information that I've received. Ximena acts like she's not into Mike at all, but I've gotten information that she used to be kind of protective of Mike. I'm not sure if this was the whole relationship or if this was in the beginning, but basically based on the information that I got, Ximena used to, keep tabs on Mike, kind of similar to what you see with Jasmine and Gino. She would ask for, where he is, why he's not answering his phone and things of that nature, and call him a lot. That's the information that I've received. I didn't receive a timeline for that, so it's not clear if that was only at the beginning or later on, but there was definitely a point in the relationship where Ximena was very possessive and even jealous of Mike, and that manifested itself in their relationship. So perhaps as a result of that, Mike really thought that, this relationship was true, it was legit, it was the real thing, because this girl was, very possessive, very jealous, and perhaps that's how he felt. I don't know. Look, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just reporting on the information that I've received and I've compiled over the last few weeks. So we know a few things. We know that Ximena is not telling the truth when she says that she never asked Mike for money. That is not true. She did. I've seen it. Even beg for it, really. Yeah, so look, that's going to do it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, it was a long one. There might be a part 2 to it if there's any info that I forgot to mention. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, guys. This is going to do it for today. Already a pretty long video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think of this whole thing in the comment section down below, guys, because this has been huge drama between Mike and Ximena the whole season, right? And so we have the conclusion of it, but like I said, there will be more Mike and Ximena coming back on 90 Day Fiancé. I think we all kind of expected it anyways. It's been rumored for a while, but On this current season, they're telling you that they're pretty much all broken up. And not really. Mike goes back one more time to Colombia for Ximena. So that's going to do it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.